All right, guys. So we just finished another episode of X-Men 97, episode 3, Fire Made Flesh. This episode was pretty lit. Now, just before you guys come in here, I want to remind you that there are spoilers on this video. So if you guys did not see the episode yet and you want to take some time to watch it before I drop this video, make sure you stop this video, go watch the episode, then come back. I know usually I do a review and then spoilers, but I'm gonna actually start changing that now and just go straight into my opinion or my view of the episode, my review of the episode. Okay, so you've been warned before we go any further. So I definitely enjoyed this episode. You know, as we left off before, you saw that a clone of Jean ended up popping up at the door. You know, the X-Men are kind of lost. They don't know what to think about it. But this episode was really crazy. It was really emotional. There were certain things that came to light. Characters were blown away with certain revelations and trying to figure out who's telling the truth and who's telling lies. And there's a sneaky villain in this episode that kind of put some scary in the idea of Mr. Sinister. And one of the things that I really liked was this episode was kind of like a callback to those 90s horror movies. Okay, specifically The Shining. I kind of felt that Shining vibe from this episode. Let me know in the comments if you felt the same way. But I was like, man, this kind of reminds me a lot of horror movies. You know what I mean? It was kind of a horror episode. All right. So basically in the episode, you know, they find the clone of Jean and they get her out the door, then they kind of lay her down. And the other Jean, the one that we have already known as in the episodes that we've seen so far, or has just had baby Cable, touches her head with memory and starts thinking about all her memories. And all the memories are just flashes and fragments of certain memories that this Jean already knows. Right? So Beast does some tests and he finds out that that the Jean that we've come to know so far is much younger than the Jean that just appeared at the door, which leads Beast to understand that the Jean that we have now that just gave birth to the child is not their Jean. She is in fact the clone. So shout out to Emergency Awesome. Charlie, you were right, brother. It was Madeline Pryor who gave birth to baby Cable. It wasn't Jean Grey herself. That was a mistake on my end, but definitely a great call out. It turns out that, you know, Jean is the clone Jean that we've come to know is very upset about this. She's upset that everybody is not believing her. Everyone is doubting her. And she takes the baby and kind of walks away. And in walks this fucker, Mr. Sinister. Okay, if you guys don't know Mr. Sinister, he used to be, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he used to work for Essex Corporation. And throughout the years, he's been taking like DNA from different mutants and fusing them in himself to make himself more unstoppable and more dangerous. Dude is grade A level smart, but he has this hard on for the Summers and wants to create this baby. And that is who baby Nathan is. He is the spawn that he wanted from Scott Summers and Jean Grey. Especially if you watch the X-Men animated series, you will see that he was trying to get a baby from them. He wanted to be able to create a child using their DNA, right? So he ends up getting that baby through baby Nathan after using the clone to, have Scott get her pregnant. And so Sinister ends up showing her the truth about herself and about her history and the fact that she is the clone. And her mind ends up snapping, right? She ends up going crazy and she ends up turning into the Goblin Queen. Okay, now she has most of all the psychic powers that Jean has, right? But just a little bit of a scary twist. She ends up putting the X-Men in all these different types of horror scenarios. You know, my man Gambit walks in on Rogue and Magneto. You know what I mean? Morph unfortunately sees Sinister and, he tries to I call it what you want to look like him. And like he has a little bit of a crush on Wolverine. I don't know. But, he tries to walk in on Wolverine and he ends up getting scared by Sinister, who brings him back to that horror or whatever. It was very crazy. They end up getting dropped into what they would call Dante's Inferno. And basically they're fighting all these minions that are just in their mind, that the Goblin Queen is spinning to them and showing them all these scary images. Right? They manage to fight it off. Jean ends up actually being able to tap into her psychic powers and able to save the team or whatever. But, the Goblin Queen ends up escaping with baby Nathan. And Scott and Magneto, they come up with a plan to go save them. So I think it's Magneto, Scott, and I believe it was Morph that worked together to try to get him back. The rest of the team stays back. So it's just them three. They try to fight her off, but she's definitely too powerful. She's showing them all these scary images, basically beating them. Magneto gets his ass handed to him. He puts up a fight for a little while, but she's just too powerful and ends up cutting him up with all this glass or whatever. It's pretty crazy. But Jean manages to use her abilities, thanks to Logan, which, damn, dude, Logan, get yourself another girl, man. Just find another girl, like, for real. Oh man. He still has a hard on for Jean and manages to help her clear her thoughts. And she ends up, using her psychic powers to meet her halfway and shows the clone a bunch of her memories that she remembers, the things that, she might not remember, that she missed out on. You know what I mean? So it was pretty crazy. Great episode. They end up being able to stop Sinister after he puts the baby in a vat, but they're just a little too late. He tries to do something to the baby where he puts him in a little vat or whatever, and they save him, but he becomes really sick and ill. And they manage to free the clone away from Sinister's influence, and she tries to help them save the baby, which they do, but like I said, he's just sick and they can't do anything about it. So Bishop has the idea to say, hey, look, let me take him to the future. Perhaps they may have something that might be able to fix him. Of course, Scott is not okay with this. The clone Gene is thinking, look, we got to do what we think is best to help save him, not just what we want for ourselves. So they end up giving him to Bishop, who ends up leaving. He goes into the future. I don't know when Bishop's going to come back. I hope he does come back soon. I like Bishop as a character. I like him on the team. If he doesn't come back, I understand, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back. The clone Gene ends up deciding to give herself a name, Madeline Pryor, and she ends up leaving, try to find her own way. I'm pretty sure she'll come back at some point in time in the future. It was a really great episode. I enjoyed it. It was amazing. The fight scenes were awesome. You know what I mean? Like, they've just been up in the ante on this series so much. I'm looking forward to seeing what cameos. I've heard they're going to be getting a lot of cameos of some different characters, like Spider-Man, maybe Fantastic Four. That'd be pretty awesome when we get to see some of those characters again. If not, I understand it is an X-Men show. If it's an X-Men show, let it stay an X-Men show. But like I said, it was a great episode. Great team moments, great sad and sorrowful moments. And at the end of the episode, Forge, if you guys know who Forge is, he's a mutant that pretty much has, like, I think, control with technology. He can create anything. He comes to Storm and offers her a way to help her restore her powers. So we may get her back. They may change the way the story goes. They may or may not. We'll see how it goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I definitely did. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Hit down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Later.